Manifest is a very popular series, and its currently aired 3 seasons have gathered a large fan base of dedicated people. They just love this show and want to know more about the behind-the-scenes action that goes on. Many fans don't know everything, so today we are going to tell you more about it. So stay tuned to today's video, as we are going to discuss Manifest cast secrets and facts fans didn't know, and news on the status of Season 4. First up, we have the show is actually filmed in New York City. Many shows that we see on the air are set in New York City or are trying to be set there. Though many TV series choose to set their series in New York, most don't actually film there. This is because the license to film in New York is very high and usually reserved for films or other projects. It's very hard to get permission to film anything in and around New York. That's why many shows opt to use other cities around the US and will make them look like New York. Series will act like Vancouver or other places are actually New York. They do this by placing in shots of the New York City skyline in between transition shots. That is why you will see shots of New York between scenes. So, how does this all relate to Manifest? Well, Manifest is set in New York and is one of the lucky few TV series to actually film their scenes on location. Many of the show's moments were actually filmed on location and in the real location, rather than on a set in another country. The show is mainly filmed in Queens, as many of the show's characters live there. If you look into fan photos, you will find that the crew were spotted filming all around New York. From Brooklyn to Manhattan, they filmed on location whenever they could. Now, did you know that the show had sinking ratings for a while? Throughout the show's time on the air, it seemed popular enough. I mean, it even got 3 seasons. But as we know now, the show had been steadily dwindling viewership over its time on the air. It seemed that it barely even got a 3rd season to end on. When a show begins to lose viewership, it doesn't mean it is going to be canceled. All shows lose viewership, but still stay above the margin the network sets for it. This can be seen with the CW's Supernatural, which ran for 14 whole seasons, even though the viewership dwindled over time. But The Manifest clearly didn't meet what the network wanted for it and was eventually canceled. As we now know, the main reason for the show to be canceled was the low viewership, but Season 3 especially had poor ratings. Even though the show was airing with double episodes, it just didn't work for the network. The ratings seemed to be that low that they had no hope for the show. Even other networks and platforms didn't see the show as worth picking up. Even though fans really want another season, low viewership just shows that Manifest just won't be popular enough to make money for the network. It just won't be worth it for them to fund and shoot the show, especially during a pandemic. Next up is renewal of the 3rd season took longer than expected. Usually around halfway through a season's airing, the network announces if the show will be picked up for another season. But during the airing of Manifest's 2nd season, nothing was heard about the show's fate. The show ended airing in April of 2020, and nothing was heard until June 15th of that year, which was months after the show had ended. The late renewal spoke volumes for the future of the show, which, as we know, eventually led the show to be canceled during Season 3's airing. And now, what was happening during the series cancellation? The show was officially canceled back on June 14th of 2021. The fan base took this with a grain of salt, however, as recent TV show cancellation had been brought back from the dead by other platforms or networks. But this didn't happen. Shows like Lucifer and Cobra Kai, who were canceled, then picked up by streaming juggernaut Netflix, seem to be the exception and not the rule. Hashtags Save Manifest were created and gained a lot of popularity on social media, but alas, it didn't lead to anything. The creators finally gave in, as well as cast members. They posted their goodbyes on Twitter. A new change in the streaming market led to a bunch of shows being canceled, then picked back up a few days or weeks later. Netflix was the spearhead of this when Lucifer was canceled by Fox. Fans were riled up and took to Twitter with their frustration. Netflix eventually picked the show up and ordered its final 2 seasons to finish off the story. Manifest fans were hoping for this outcome for their beloved show, but it didn't come to fruition. It seems that this new change is only for certain shows with a large fan base. Maybe Manifest didn't meet the criteria for these platforms. Being more specific, Netflix couldn't take the show. ago. They had just picked up Cobra Kai and Lucifer the previous year and had ordered multiple seasons of both, especially with the pandemic. It seemed they had to cut down on what they were producing. They had their handfuls with Jupiter's Legacy, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Glow, I Am Not Okay with This, and The Society. All these shows and their veterans being in production, Manifest just wasn't something they could pick up. If only they didn't have this many shows during that time, maybe the show would have been picked up, but I guess we will never know. Aside from the streaming side of things, not even normal TV networks would pick it up. There was no word from NBC, Fox, or any other popular network. Though there aren't many examples of this happening in the past, aside from Brooklyn Nine-Nine's cancellation and being picked up by NBC after Fox canceled them back in 2018, it seems like Manifest just wasn't something anyone was willing to pick up. The show was popular enough for it to get 3 seasons, but maybe the audience just wasn't as big as the networks wanted it to be. But the story doesn't end there, as recently the series was picked up for its 4th season. Netflix later decided to pick up the project for a 20-episode final season that will be released in parts. So finally, here are some facts you should know about Manifest Season 4. Though we don't have an exact release date for Manifest Season 4, as things were going wrong behind the scenes for a while there, we do have a rough time period where the show should release. According to Marca.com, we should be seeing the series release in late spring 2022, and it will have 20 episodes. This means we should see the season release in 2 or more parts. Manifest has actually had some incredible numbers over the past year or so. According to Marca.com, the numbers behind Manifest's success are overwhelming. Seasons 1 through 3 have been watched at least 214,520,000 hours just in the United States and Canada between June 27th and September 12th. However, to the surprise of many, Season 4 will be the final season of Manifest. After airing their first 3 seasons on NBC, Season 4 of Manifest will return exclusively on Netflix, as it was officially announced back in August 2021 after a deal was reached between the popular platform and Warner Brothers TV. It's crazy to think that the series was canceled at one point by NBC because of the low ratings. The series picked up traction on Netflix, and this caused the producers to reconsider their choice. Now we have more seasons, and we should be finally getting a conclusion to this story soon. My dear Manifestors, I'm devastated by NBC's decision to cancel us. Manifest creator Jeff Rake wrote on Twitter back in June that we've been shut down in the middle is a gut punch to say the least, hoping to find a new home. You, the fans, deserve an ending to your story. Thanks for the love shown to me, cast, and crew. We also know that the series has been filming for a few months now. Rake took to Twitter on November 18th to announce that the filming had officially begun, also posting a picture from the set, which is located in New York City. The 20 episodes of the 4th season will be released in parts after a cliffhanger left fans gripped and awaiting the new season. The endgame won't change at all, Rake told EW. I am absolutely confident that 20 episodes gives me enough time to tell the entirety of the story as I always intended to. So we know the series should release before the end of 2022, so it's going to be a while before fans get their hands on this next season. Hopefully the show gets a good Season 4 because fans are really waiting for some explanation. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!